welcome everybody here and have an opportunity to ask as many questions as you want. It's not, we don't really have any structure to the tour, but just we want to make sure everybody understands and gets their questions answered. I want to, if Steve can just start off and give us a pretty good history, a good history of the facility. The facility has a pretty unique story on how it all got built, and Steve how's that all information for us, and then we'll move on to some of the bays, and you'll see the stuff in the work that's being done currently in VAB. So Steve.
So just some basic facts. The building was constructed in the mid-1960s, and the highest point in the high bays is 525 feet, so it's a pretty tall building. And at the time it was constructed, it was the largest volume building in the world. The footprint takes up about 8.5 acres, so it's pretty massive in that respect as well. And it's been said also that the VAB even has its own weather. There have been instances in the high bays where we've had cloud formations under certain weather conditions. If we want to walk this way, this area is the low bay portion of the VAB. And there are 8 cells here, and they were designed originally for the Apollo program. You'll see these red platforms up here. They were used for processing portions of the Apollo rockets. And we have a lot of work going on now. Like we talked about, the building was constructed in the mid-1960s, so a lot of our infrastructure is kind of antiquated. We have deteriorated pipes that are being fixed. We have cranes that we're working on. And actually, the low bay structure is a separate building from the high bay. You'll see the high bay start down here. The big crane rails up here, the yellow rails. There's a crane that runs the whole length of the transfer aisle. This is called the transfer aisle in the middle. And there's a crane that runs the whole length of that transfer aisle to be able to help us with our processing.
So take a second here. Yeah, I want to look over here. We have our EDO lab. This is where there's a group of our engineering group is off working some of the Restore project. This is a very good initiative for us, where we're trying to bring in other commercial, not commercial, this would be a government, but more work in the VAB outside of the SLS. They're actually doing a fantastic job of working at Restore satellite. And they're doing some good work in here. We're looking for this kind of opportunity in the VAB to do multiple.
What did you call their organization?
It's called Restore. Okay. That's kind of the Restore effort for the satellite from Cotter, Space Flight Center. So they're basically working some of the hose reels and some of the pumps, and they're completely developing flight hardware here at KSC. Tom, did you want to say anything else on the platform here?
I'll tell you one interesting thing. This building during the Apollo days, you know, when you get down there, all these towers, there's offices and all on both sides, and most of the people worked in this building. But as we went to the Shuttle program, because of the solid rocket boosters, this building became an ordnance facility. So we moved all the people out to try to keep the number of people limited in here. So there's hardly anybody work-wise that have offices in here, just processing people working here. But during the Apollo days, I mean, everybody worked in there except for down headquarters in ONC. So all the work, because through the Apollo there was no hazards. It was just stacked the Saturn V and it rolled out. But we had those hazards with the Shuttle with the solid rocket boosters. So try to get all the people out, and early in the program as well. These understand for the second stage, Saturn V, they come in, we have the turn bases down there, and the first stage and second stage came in on barges from the manufacturer, New Orleans. The first stage was shoes. They put the second stage in here, and the first stage they rolled down and used the cranes to lift them up and stack them on the mobile launchers, the LUTs back then, the Apollos, which the LUTs were turned into MLPs for the Shuttle program, the 3 of them.
The doors that lead nowhere, are those like permanently sealed?
Yeah, you couldn't open up from the inside. There used to be platforms in those like these there, and that's how you walk out on those platforms in the Apollo days. For Shuttle, these platforms weren't used because there's no process, so they kind of abandoned them in place there, those platforms.
You still have the glass elevators?
Yeah, they're in the high bays. There's a couple glass ones in the high bay 1 and 3.
Really? I'm not familiar with the design. He's asking, how does this compare to Hangar 1? Anybody have how does this building in volume compare to the Hangar 1?
This building has 129.4 million cubic feet of space.
Wow. There you go.
Small.
Do the math. All right.
Yeah, in volume, it was #1 back when it was built.
It's
and then it
number
went down to
3
3
now.
or something volume.
Yeah, the 747 in Seattle, I've used to work at press.
Okay.
747 in Seattle is the biggest, volume-wise. It's not as tall. And the other one was the C5 in Marietta. That's larger than this one, volume-wise.
Heavy lift, it's going to fit.
Yes, sir.
It
We'll
comes
get
in,
to that. We'll get
it
to
comes
that.
in laying on a transporter, and then we roll it down and translate it and stack it.
If I may. This used to be a hard hat area in the Apollo days. I was here, and those walkways were open, so you didn't have to come all the way down and go backing up. So if anything fell out of your pocket, a penny, a pen, or anything, it would have killed somebody if it hit them. So this was a hard hat area. You couldn't walk down there unless you had a hard hat.
Currently, our hard hat policy is just in the base right now, but for transfer out, we're obviously you can see no hard hat.
And that area over there, the brown area, that was the Space Shuttle main engine shop before they moved it to OPF3.
Yeah.
And you could only do 2 engines in here vertically. In the new building, I think you can do 5 to 8. I can't remember exactly, but
So what's the future of the VAB?
SLS, and we'll get into that. We'll show you the shuttle, kind of the platforms you see from the shuttle,
Okay.
and you see the future which is coming from the SLS.
Okay.
And of course a multi-use facility. So not only can we support SLS, but we'll be able to support any other commercial customers or any configuration of the vehicle based on these new designs.
Okay. Cool. Is this Apollo era?
Yeah, when they stack.
1 and 3. Use both bays.
You see, what you see now is the new stuff. Is they kind of got away with these fixed platforms where it's specific to one mission or vehicle. It's fine. You see, and we'll get into it. You see a little more detail on the platforms. It's fully adjustable. They got inserts in for OML and rockets. It's a great concept because you can adjust it just about any for any vehicle configuration.
I have a comrade in your crowd here. I went to Penn State.
oh, okay.
Very good. That's what you're using for.
Just a quick note, this stuff you see right here, this is
So what are you gonna do after
from the
graduation?
shuttle closeout era. Right here, this is the TNR, transition retirement effort.
Yeah.
This is still some of the items that are being cleaned out, and these are all going to be scrapped and taken to Ransom Road. This is the final. I think they got one more load they got to go off and go do. So during the shuttle, in between some shuttle, there was a lot of work going on the shuttle transition to set up for the next program.
Bless you.
Show them where everyone knows no purpose behind the wall.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna get on Meta and tweet all the, tweet out people on my account.
This is where all the workers from the shuttle program where we come in and sign their name on the wall. And I think they lacquered their name, put a sealer on there to protect the names of the folks. I'm gonna say not everybody got a chance to sign. But I should give her twice and I got called. My name is up way up there. You see it in between the roof. It's everywhere but there. So when the aliens find this place, they'll find my name.
Yep, these are the decoy names, right?
Yeah, those are the people we throw out there. Take a look for them first. Tell them what the low points are.
Yeah.
Good time.
It's gonna be nice.
You don't want to mention it?
No, they're in front of the highway. They're not there.
These aren't, those are them?
No, the red.
Okay.
The red ones.
Has anyone ever skydived in here?
Oh yeah.
No, they have to do it on third shift. Must have been
Yes, the shuttle's pretty much.
Has this ever sustained serious damage in a hurricane?
No, we had a lot of those panels blow off during a hurricane. We had them replaced. You know, they were old, and what the securing mechanisms were, they just busted off. So they did
2005, we had all the hurricanes. Yeah,
a complete refurbishment of all those, and it's so far.
But no real
damage now. No, I mean,
Amazing. Such a big box.
Yeah, it's like the least aerodynamic shape you could have.
did you want to go over to the crawler mode now, or you want to
do a high bed?
Yeah, you want to do the see if we're close on the platform? One second.
Yeah, no problem. Come up to the fence up here. wait till everyone gets there.
So Tom's going to talk a little about this is the old MLP.
Yeah, we had, for the shuttle program, we had 3 MLPs,
MLP
MLP 1, 2, and 3. And you can see, like that's the orbiter flame hole.
Yeah, this is one of the bays.
There, those are the SRB flame holes. So we'd roll an MLP in, stack the solid rocket boosters. Solid rocket boosters consisted of 4 segments aside. They came in from by rail from Utah, from ATK. We process them in the building north of here at the RPSF, take them off the rail cars, put them on pallets. They'd roll into the VAB here. We place them. We lift the segments up one at a time, stack them, left booster, right booster. The ETs would come in from on barge from a MAF, and up in high bay 2 and 4, there's ET cells way up high. The ETs would be lifted, translated to vertical, lifted in those processing cells where we'd do work on those, and then when boosters were stacked, we'd lift the ET out of the cell over there, come across the transfer aisle, lower it between the SRBs, and do closeouts somewhere down the road. One of the orbiters would come over from OPF 1, 2, or 3, roll in here. We pick those up, translate it, made it to the external tank. Crawler comes in on the MLP, rolls it out to the pad we launch. So that's how we did shuttle processing, which is high bay 1 and 3 were our 2 integration cells where we did the stacking, the ET mates, and the orbiter processing. And high bay 2 over there, you could roll an MLP in there, but we couldn't do processing, no stacking. And high bay 4, there's no crawler way really there anymore to roll a MLP. There's not even a pedestal that the MLPs sit on. But
How many crawlers are there?
2 crawlers, CT1 and CT2. One's being modified for Terry the SLS.
Right, you're going to talk that just in a few minutes. We're going to go over there. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the crawler we have down here. So
I just want to know if you can kind of see these platforms. These are the platforms that were removed when the shuttle air officer removed, and they can be removed in large segments. If you got some pictures over there, you can see them. And then we basically cleared out the bay. You see a cleared out bay when we get to 3. It's going to set up the construction of the new platforms. So we kind of sneak a peek at the old. These are fixed platforms specific only for shuttle.
And the platforms extend out, so we stack boosters, we extend the platforms out to work up the stack, and then we put the tank in there, and flip and work around so we get to all the areas we need to work to make the orbiter. And then when all the closeout work was done, all the platforms would be retracted and the whole stack would roll out. So those are the shuttle platforms. And actually, those platforms were modified platforms from the Apollo days. They were used for stacking the Saturn V, and they just modified them so the shuttle configuration. While for SLS and High Bay 3, we're building all new platforms for that rocket. So that's why we took out the shuttle platforms in High Bay 3. So we built new ones. You want to talk crawler now?
Yeah, you want to head over here now?
Let's go over High Bay 2 and we'll talk about the crawler. You can picture that going